talking about pathways for exceptional children. Welcome back to the Dawn Show. We're now joined by Jessica Messina, who's a coach and mentor at Pathways for Exceptional Children. And you already met our exceptional mom, Melinda Jenis, who really started this all for your son, Jacob, right, which is so great. But what does it mean to you to be a mentor, to be a coach to all these kids?
It means a lot. When I first came into the program, it was about mentoring children with disabilities, maybe, some may be more difficult to work with than the others. But after a while, you really get to know the kids, you understand their passions, you really, they show you what they're great at, their strengths, and it becomes a great experience to work with someone that I can learn from, maybe they learn from me, and it's just fantastic to be around people who are really passionate about, their favorite things.
How did you find each other? How did you even know about Melinda's organization?
Well, I live in Montville Township, and so does Melinda. And basically, Montville's big thing is Pathways. There's a lot of school assemblies, at the elementary schools, middle schools, and basically everyone in Montville is aware. And everyone's been a mentor, at least once for a certain program. And in high school, I became much more involved, especially maybe a little over a year ago. I joined the Pathways Rock Band, a lot of the programs with the older children rather than, the different age groups. So.
Okay. So to see somebody like Jessica, Melinda, and sort of come alive with this and
Right.
pay it forward at such a young age, how does that make you feel?
Well, it gives me hope for the next generation because it's very difficult sometimes to work with adults. They're very stuck in their ways, and their perception of disability is about I can't. And what's amazing is I go into so many schools to do mentor trainings, and we've trained about 15,000 kids in New Jersey to be mentors. And every time I'll say to them, what does disability mean to you? And the words I can't or can't invariably come up. Mm-hmm. And they've been taught that by someone. And I think what's great about Jess and people like her is the whole new concept of that this is not scary, this is not unknown, and what they can do. And in fact, Jess, tell them about the piano. She's got to tell you about that. Yeah, that was great.
The piano story?
Yeah, the
Of
piano
course.
story is great.
Yeah, so just a silly backstory, I was kind of had some free time. I just maybe quit. I was playing soccer and I quit. So I said, okay, I want to pick up another activity. I'm eating too much food around the house. I got to get out. So I thought, okay, well, I used to play piano when I was younger. Let's, get back into that. And of course, I told Melinda, I'm having a really good time playing piano again. And of course, she's like, join the rock band. So I did. And I met Matthew there, who's also plays piano for the band. And, he appeared a little unfocused at first. But as soon as he started playing, I remember the first song I heard was Lady Gaga's Born This Way that they played. My mouth literally just fell wide
There he
open.
is.
I just stood there the whole song. I was like, oh my God,
He's
is
a
this
savant.
kid?
He's
He's
a
amazing.
savant.
And
And he
after
plays by
that,
ear.
yeah, he plays by ear. You could, what keys to sing, he'll tell you. He'll figure out everything. He doesn't need any sheet music. And from then on, I was just taking notes of what he was doing. It took a lot of work to try and compete, catch up. And now we work together because we both bring, my hard work and his gift. He works hard too, so.
What does it do for you as a young person, though? Does it make you see people differently?
Completely. Basically, everyone I work with at Pathways is my friend, and I look at each one of them, and I'm just so amazed with their gifts. I just only see their gifts now instead of, Melinda's all about, is it disability or is it, what they can't do versus what they can do? And these kids can really do amazing things once you realize, their strengths.
You know what, I want to talk about your values that you have, the importance of community and inclusion. I mean, you actually wrote this out, Melinda, so that you have this statement that all children have to be given every opportunity to realize their passions. Children teaching children. How did you come up with children teaching children?
It was real simple. Because I'm a physical therapist by trade, and so I worked with children with special needs, and then ironically I had my own. And I took my son out one time to ride a bicycle in the cul-de-sac where I live, and I had all the fancy equipment, and of course all the titles behind my name as far as being this gigantic PT, sorts, and I looked very impressive, and he couldn't ride a bike. He wouldn't do it for me. And I had a 12-year-old that was sitting on the porch that was my neighbor, and he was laughing, and I said, "Oh, it's smarty pants, come on over here and you try it." And within half an hour, he had my son riding that training wheel bike, and He did what I could not do. And I started to notice the more I had him around children, and he sought out that feeling of belonging and being with children. And it was better than any therapist, and I can say that because I'm a therapist. That child did more for my son than I could have ever done. Knowing everything I had and all the certifications I had, it wasn't enough. He wanted to be like another child. He was so motivated. And she's motivated to imitate Matthew, and Matthew's imitated her, and they're all motivating each other and teaching each other, so that I sit there and I think of all the possibilities of what I could do. Pathways is not about Melinda anymore. It's truly about what all these children have brought to it. And I kind of sit back, I tell people I'm more the figurehead than anything, because they run it, right? I mean, they really direct it and run it, and I just kind of sit behind the scenes and say, okay, go, or if they say, well, I can't, I say, yes, you can, let's take it to the next step.
Well, let's meet Matthew, since we keep talking about him. We'll take a quick break, and when we come right back, you'll meet Matthew here on The Dawn Show.